good morning. My name is Tuti, and this is my husband, Danny, and we're the owners of Warung, specialized in Indonesian home food halal cooking. And we are now located on 5382 Unit A, Before Highway, Doraville, Georgia, 30340. And we are now introducing the food of Sate Padang from the north part of Indonesian northern island. All right, we are now going to introduce you all the ingredients and also the beef that what we have to make the Sate Padang. The first is we use the chopped tender. For Sate Padang, you could use, normally in the indigenous island, they use the tongue or the part of the heart. But because of the local markets that we have for this restaurant, we use only the beef chopped tender, where it's so soft and it's so tender, so all people can enjoy. We have 500 grams of chopped tender beef, and this is before we boiled it, because we have 3 steps. And then this is after we boiled it. And then we have the ginger and the galanga, and this is the lemongrass, and this is the curry leaf, but we dried it to preserve it. And we have the lime kaffir leaves. We have the cumin, and then we have also the curry mixed powder, and you could buy it in any local Asian stores. And we have the coriander. We have the chili, the Thai chili. We call it the Thai chili because it's spicy, it's small. All right, so we have the most important thing for the sauce making of Sate Padang is the rice flour. And this is crucial for making the sauce. And then the turmeric, we use washed, the whole roots of turmeric itself, or you could peel it off as to become like this. Also, we have shallots. It's different with the red onions. Shallots, it's a small red onions. Normally you could find in local Asian markets. And also the garlic, pretty common, and pepper, and also a tablespoon of salt. Of course, to make it, stir fry it, and we use a couple tablespoons of frying oils. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to make the sauce, because Sate Padang has 3 steps. The original Sate Padang can be made through the sauce of the beef itself, but we prefer to do it separate ways. That way it's easier, and it's according to what local people's likings. So what we're going to do is we're going to blend it first for the sauce. We use about 2 cloves of garlic and 2 cloves of shallots, and then we also use a little bit of coriander, which is probably half a teaspoon of coriander, and we use the cumin, half a teaspoon of cumin, and we use the peeled turmeric, and we use a little bit of pepper. The reason why we put the already grinded ingredients into the blender is because we want them to make sure that it's collided with all the cloves and the garlic, cloves of the garlic, and then also the shallots, and a little bit of salt. And also what we're going to do is just put a couple teaspoons of water to make it real bland. And what we're going to do, we can turn on the stove to make sure that it's heated. So once the ingredients are blended, we are going to pour it into the hot oil. It's not really extremely hot, but it's hot enough to fry it. and it takes about 20 to 30 minutes until all the ingredients is soaked into the oil and the water itself. And with the Sate Padang, it's well known with all the rich spices from this northern part of island Indonesia. So it takes a while to make Sate Padang, but it's well worth it, and it is our best sale in our restaurant. We made it all the time. A lot of people ask for Sate Padang. Sate is our number one, but Sate Padang is most requested. Okay, once it's all blended, what we're gonna do is we're going to mix rice flour, about 2 teaspoons of rice flour, and again we mix it with a little bit of water. The way we do it is we don't pour it directly into the cooking itself, because it will be like a little bit clumpy. So the way we do it is, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it down a little bit, and we shake it off, and just make it blend. And then put a little bit of water. Yeah. Just a little bit of water. And then pour it all together. Now we stir it over and over again for about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so the next step is to cook and marinate the beef itself that we already cut, and then we put like a portion of a half-cooked beef, and we marinate it into the sauce itself. So it's 2 different sauces. The next step, it takes longer to make Sate Padang. That's why the prices out there is probably competitive, and it's well worth it. So our restaurant offers it really delicate cuisines of Indonesian Sate Padang, and it's authentic, and it's not with any instant spices or anything like that. So we make it exactly from the scratch. So now let's go ahead and show you the curry or marinated sauce for the Sate Padang, for the beef itself. So we use a couple cloves of shallots too, and then a couple cloves of garlic, and then of course turmeric. And you could use a washed root, or mix it with the peeled ones, that's fine. And then again the curry powder, you mix it together right here, 1 teaspoon. And then again with the 3 small chili pepper, and then also just put it like all coriander. Now with the beef itself, we use the galanga. It's more rich spices into the beef, and then 1 centimeter or probably 1 inch of ginger, and then we use the curry leaf, the dried curry leaf, and then the lemongrass later on. Once we cooked and we blended, we cooked into the pot, and we just put a little bit of water, and then again we blend it. But mostly Padangese people up in the northern part, they use a really grinder from the rock or the stone. But for the people living in the United States or abroad, to make it faster, now we have a lot of more advanced tool. So we just use the blender to make it more efficient. So as you can see, the color for the marinated, for the beef itself, it's more darker. It's more darkish brown kind of color. So that's why we the restaurants of Warung restaurant of Indonesian cuisine, we like to prefer to separate the sauces. That way it's much better. It looks much enticing. So, and we're going to get ready to fry it. Just use around 3 tablespoons of the oil. We don't want to have too much oil because we want all the spices to immerse more than the oil itself. We just wait it until it's heated up a little bit. Looks like it's just fine. And we can put the ingredients into the the way we do it, we don't wait until the oil gets really heated, so that way it's not cooked and burnt instantly. We want it to take it slow and also cooked at the same time with the right temperature. Once it's a little bit cooked there, and we want to add about 3 cups of water. Okay, that should be enough. And then one main ingredient is the lime kaffir leaves that we want to. Don't hesitate just to rip it off like this, and it makes the aroma and the taste much better. And you can probably take the stem off. Okay. And then around 3 centimeters of each of the lemongrass, and put it right away. And then 1 dried curry leaf, right away too. And then let it boil for another few minutes. And then, as we mentioned from the way we cooked it, we boiled it with the regular cold water first, and then it comes to the second step, which is the half-cooked one, and then we put it back into the marinated. Now this one takes longer because we want the spices to go deeper into the thread of the chuck tender meat itself. And we have to kind of like wait until 2 or 3 hours until it really gets tender, the spices and the ingredients of the marinated, all the richness into the deeper part of the meat. Alright everyone, and this is the final product of the sauce of the Sate Padang itself. It has to be thick and it has to be yellowish. And some of the part of the city in Padang itself has to tend more greenish or more reddish. It depends on, they call it as a bumbu masak. It depends on each individual specialization in each city, but mostly Padangnese likes to have the curry sauce yellowish like this on top of the Sate Padang itself. Okay, so the final step is to put the marinated beef that we had cooked earlier into the skewer. Ideally, we had enough 4 pieces, and then we just kind of like press it to make it a little bit flat so it's easy to grill on our grill. Alright, so this is the final step. The very final step is to put the Sate Padang itself into on the grill, really, and then it's not going to be too long. As long as it's a little bit burned on the outside, it's fine, because it has already had 3 steps of the cooking, so the beef is really well done. Alright, so and then while we grilled it, we put a little bit of sauce on each side of the Sate Padang itself, so that it will be more double into the aroma. And we flip it back over so that the spices will come into the surface of the meat itself. And just like that. And then we do the same as the other side. Alright, perfect. So each side will take about 3 to 4 minutes, and then you should be done by then. And wait until the final product served on a plate. All right, so our Sate Padang has been fully grilled, and then remember the sauce that we made earlier? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna smear it over the Sate Padang. Sate Padang has to be really fully covered, fully richness, and fully thick into the satay itself, or the beef. Okay, that should be enough. And then we also sprinkled with a lot of fried shallots. And to top it off, we use also the rice cake, or we call it ketupat in Indonesian language. We eat it not with the steamed rice, but with the rice cake. There you are. Sate Padang is ready to serve.